to A Time to Care, the Caregivers Podcast. This is Isabel Melgarejo, your host, and I am delighted to be here with you today. When was the last time that you wished you had done something new? Maybe tried a new hobby or a new experience, or who knows? Let's talk why you should do that sooner rather than later. Let's get started. As I have mentioned in the past, I ran a lab during the months of June and July, and if you're interested, we're going to be running the same lab in October. So go to the show notes and join us in the lab because it's going to be fantastic. And I know you're going to get a lot out of these sessions. But I'm not here to talk about the lab. I'm here to talk about things that brings us joy and hobbies. Why are hobbies so important in our lives? As you know, I was born and raised in Mexico, and then I moved here. Well, I moved a bunch of times before, different countries before I ended up in the US. But now that I'm in the US, I have noticed that culture is very different. Yes, culture is very, very different. And one of the things that I have noticed about Americans is that they're very proud of the work they do. And I really admire that. I really admire the culture, the work culture, and how all of you, because most of the people here, we were immigrants at some point. We're immigrants, or we were immigrants, or our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. A lot of the people here in the US come at some point, someone in their family immigrated. And that is precisely the American dream. You come to the US, you work, and you will have a very comfortable and successful life. That is the American dream, right? You work and you live happily ever after. The thing is that we often forget about the fun. We often forget that we need something else besides just work. I'm inviting you today to be more conscious about this decision because I don't think it's healthy. In the first place, we get so attached to what we do that whenever we meet someone, whenever we go someplace new, we are identified by the things that we do. And I recently noticed this in the women's club that I belong. And I was talking with all of these younger women, all in their 20s, and none of them were talking about their careers. All of them were talking about the things that they enjoy in life. They were talking about places they like. They were talking about things that they enjoy doing. So all of these other things that are not work related. And they were just talking about that. And I was delighted that the conversation was so lively in so many ways. And none of it had to do anything with work. Because as we grow older, I believe, we just get attached to, and our identity gets attached to what we do. And we forget that what we do, and it's not just work. It's not just the activity that brings money in. We do way more activities than just generating money. We have families, and those families are not just linear. We have our parents, our grandparents, uncles, cousins. We have kids. We have grandkids maybe. And with each group of our family, we do different things. If we live with someone, then we have a relationship with that someone. But if we don't, we have a completely different relationship with that person. And then we have errands to run. Not the most fun thing in life, but we do that. We run errands and we're out and about doing things. And then they're activities that are just put into our plate because of the people that we relate ourselves with. So if we have kids, we take them to parties and we do things for them, and sports and school and all of these other things. So we are parents, and parenting involves 1,000 of activities that surround kids. And if we're taking care of a loved one, that includes doctor's appointments, healthcare plans, eating plans, and all of these things surrounding healthcare. And the same happens with everything we do. And we often forget about including fun in our lives. So we have an endless list of responsibilities with family members, friends, work, you name it. We have all these responsibilities, and then we forget about having fun. We forget about connecting with people. We forget about doing things that brings us joy. And I would like to invite you to think about things that you've been wanting to do. So for me in particular, I've been wanting to learn how to dance salsa and tango for the longest time in my life. And at some point, I started learning how to dance tango with someone I was dating many years ago. And we went to a couple classes. And then I never saw this person again. So that was a very short-lived dream, but I still dream about learning how to dance tango. I find these sorts of dances so beautiful that I would like to do them more often. Well, it's not like I ever do them, so I would just like to do them, but I don't give myself the time to go and do them. So I just keep postergating and postponing these activities because I think I either don't have the time or the money or anything else. Whatever it is, but we keep putting excuses to the things that we want to do. And there is always an excuse for doing something that we really want to do. Always. Either big projects in terms of work and career. I often hear people saying, and this is one that I heard recently, I've been wanting to start this podcast for such a long time, and I just had the time. Well, good that you found the time and you're doing it, because now you can share yourself out there. So what are those things? And I hear this all the time. I wish I could do this, but I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have anybody to care for in the blank. And it's just a bunch of excuses about doing something that brings us joy. And the truth is that we say that we don't have the time, or we don't have the money, or we don't have the resources, or whatever it is. And we don't even take the time to do the research. So we don't take the time and research what it would look like. So for example, going back to my example of learning how to dance salsa and tango. I have researched who teaches those dances here in Fort Worth, but I haven't had the time to call these places to check their hours and see if they offer a free class that I can join and see if I like it or not. So that is the first step. Even if you are to take that step, I'm sure that you have the time and energy to make a simple call. Go to Google, search what you want, and then connect with whomever is doing the activity you want to do. Because once you have that, now you're curious. Now you want to see what happens if you do more. And it usually just takes that first step, that tiny little thing that you do to get yourself going. So what are things that you're interested in that you've said, I would love to fill in the blank. Think about one thing, because we all have a lot of things that we wish we were doing and we don't. So think about that and try it. I bet there is a free version of whatever you want to try that you can go and try it. And if there is not a free version of it, then what you can do is just research. But just go ahead and research how it would look like. How do you feel when you're doing this? Because when you do it, you get so excited that you just keep going. And what I want you to experience today is just the joy of seeing how it would look like, how it would feel like. Because the truth is that if we don't start bringing joy into our lives every single day, if we don't start filling our lives with things that we enjoy and makes us happy and brings energy, then we're filling it with things that are the opposite. And when we attach ourselves to who we are as the work that we do, and we forget about all these other things that we enjoy in life, when that work ends, then we die with that work. And I don't want that happening to you. I want people to identify you with 100 things that you do. And I know 100 is too much, but if people could say that you're 5 to 10 things that include something else beyond responsibilities, I think that would be fantastic. And actually, if you can only find one thing that people identify you with, that it's not a responsibility, I would think that would be something great. What if people in the office were to identify you as the woman who crocheted a doll for every baby that comes in the office? I don't know. Probably that's not your thing. And probably you wouldn't do it for people at work. And that's okay. But what if people would say, she loves crocheting and she's really good at it. Or she likes gardening and she has shared her apples every winter with us. Or she loves exercising and she has given me really good advice to start my routine. Whatever it is. But bring those things, other things that you enjoy into your life, and make sure that people identify you by those things as well. Okay, so this is all for today. If you're liking this show, I would love for you to leave us a comment and rate us and let us know your thoughts.